So I think it's along the lines of choice and doership.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I know it's a common thing that happens with apparent choices.
Yeah,
Um, there is there's been a lot of stuff happening over the past 18 months, and
yeah.
currently there's something I'm experiencing. There's a situation where I've been booked in for a procedure,
Mm.
and there is another option. And this is funny because when I thought about calling and I thought about what I would say, I thought that, well, why don't I just do what I feel is best? But then the question comes in as to where is that coming from? Projection or intuition? Is it
Yeah.
choice? Um,
Mm.
it feels like a very grounded feeling. And this is a reoccurring experience of feeling into what is right for me.
Mm.
Um, Part of what came up in discussion earlier was I don't want to let myself down with this feeling being strong.
Mm.
Um, and opening it up really to look at it and to call it out and whatever could be happening, to hear your thoughts on
Mm.
these scenarios that come up and how spiritual ego can get involved and how,
Yeah.
yeah, while I'm not fully abiding in awareness, there is great awareness and glimpses and so on. It's
Mm.
still something that can feel challenging.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Especially when it's health related. Mm. But we can feel like that's a very personal thing that we have to choose.
Yes, and yeah, the, exactly. But
Mm.
it's that I've had the thought come up of there's so many different perspectives of I've had the letter, do I surrender into going for this procedure and allow everything to unfold that way? Or is this feeling guiding me to a different
Mm.
choiceless
Yeah.
choice of, yeah.
Mm. So in the end, like whatever happens, if you follow your intuition, or you go with the procedure, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. If your ego gets involved, if a trauma gets involved, or if it doesn't, and it can never be any other way. So whatever is chosen there is the perfect outcome of events. Absolutely, even if it is riddled with ego or riddled with fear, it's perfect. It's God or the divine, whatever word suits, or the mystery creating. Just like an artist painting, it's absolutely perfect and everything is in its perfect place. So that's like the main answer is that you can't get it wrong. You really can't. It really is the perfect karma for that body. And that's really brutal when you think about it. Like in the sense that that includes all badness and goodness. Our psychology is made up by this idea that it is our choice to keep us in line with goodness and to keep away from badness. So most of our stories are about goodness fighting evil. It's very rare that you find a story that isn't about goodness fighting evil. Maybe Winnie the Pooh and some kids' stories. Like Winnie the Pooh is just kind of like Winnie the Pooh's like mishap adventures. But a lot of stories are about good fighting evil. So say if you took Harry Potter, it's like goodness, which is Harry Potter fighting against badness, which is Voldemort. Lord of the Rings, I forget the names in Lord of the Rings, but it's the Hobbit and all his friends. What's his name? The Hobbit fighting against Mouths, or I've forgotten his name as well. But you're always like in this adventure of fighting against evil, and evil can be bad choices. So that's also, or darkness or badness can be bad choices. So this is what our psychology is fundamentally made up of, this idea that there is a you inside of the body that has to make good choices as opposed to bad choices. And that, yeah, that's like our biggest dilemma as humans, I think. Because the way that our mind also works is by contemplating choices, our bodies take in new information and evolve in different ways, but they only evolve in the way they could evolve. So it's like an algorithm. So we've now programmed these algorithms to write stories. So we uploaded the algorithms with all stories, or with thousands and thousands of stories, and then it learns from all the stories that's uploaded into it how to write a story. So we know that that algorithm isn't choosing to write a story, but all the information that's been put into it has affected the way in which it writes a story. But it couldn't have been any other way. It couldn't have had any other stories uploaded to it. Because when you really look at everything, you realize that nothing is acting independently. There wasn't somebody that acted independently uploading those stories. It's a series of events which go on forever. You can never start at the beginning of events. It's kind of like love. So every choice that you make is love, good or bad. And most of us will make, even though there isn't really good and bad, if we put it into statistics, we'll make maybe like 60 or 70% good choices for ourselves, and then 30 or 40% maybe of bad choices for ourselves. It's kind of so dependent. You know, you might choose to move to America and like marry the man of your dreams or something, and then you move over there, and because you're not used to driving on that side of the road, you die, you know, after a year of living there. And then as society would say, that's a bad choice that they made. But it's really not. It's what happened. And the freedom comes from every moment recognizing the love that is in this moment. Every moment. It's not really a personal recognition, but it's this knowing of this love that is always here in everything that happens, the perfection of it. The perfection of sadness, the perfection of indecision, everything that arises on the human level. So that's the non-dual answer, I would say. Yeah. And then if you went more to the law of attraction, I think they all fit together. But if I just separate it out a bit, because it's so hard to explain how they fit together. But if you went to more of a law of attraction, it's like ideally you want to make choices that come from flow, from positivity. But that's again not your doing, that's something that happens or doesn't. So that's the indicator, but it's okay not to. I make cheap choices out of fear. And also in a way we have to make choices out of a fear. You know, if we see a big lion walking down the road, then it's so appropriate to move away out of fear. Not to sit there and be like, hang on, I have to get myself into love and then the lion will lick me in the face rather than bite my head off. Like but ideally, it's like moving that energy into that love vibration. That's sorely misunderstood though, and it's not personal. It's something that happens or doesn't, but it's very misunderstood, because a lot of people think that love is pleasure. So there is a big mistake from that. Like that love is like this high pleasure of like getting something which makes you evolve as a human, whereas actually love is this sense of deep rest and stillness it's underneath all the human emotions, and it's like the first thing that's manifesting from that, and it's this sense of all possibilities. And then we can go even deeper into that on the human level and see, like I won't do it with you now because it's a bit too personal to do online when other people are watching, but you could when you're by yourself go into any doubt that comes up and speak it out to yourself, what your doubts are, what your fears are, and let them be spoken out, let them be seen for what they are. Where you feel that vibration of doubt in your body or like unsureness, and just letting that express itself, and then moving it to the opposite, and then moving it back to the doubt, so moving it to positivity, like playing with it. How does that feel, like what's been said?
Yeah, I understand it all, and yes, it's interesting because it's connected with the throat, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I have been playing around with voicing it, and interestingly, a couple of Gangaji videos came up that I watched recently, and when I was watching those, I felt clear that it was okay to go with the procedure, and then when I stopped watching them, there was a lack of clarity again, and there was feeling like to not have this procedure, and then talking about it with my partner, it felt like I was even clearer to not have it. So there's just this ebb and flow of something happening in this experience, and it's lovely to hear your words and to connect.
Is indecision something that you normally have difficulty with, or is it something that's just arising with this?
I think it's something that's played out quite a lot when I was immersed in lots of spirituality and law of attraction, and then things changed quite a lot in a very short space of time, and then this has all been unfolding since then.
Yeah, the other bit of advice is that I would pay attention to the solar plexus and look up the solar plexus, and just, if you can, do some meditations on that. So choice to me is an energy that comes from the solar plexus. So it's something that, and it has got to do with the throat, because so the solar plexus is like the place of choosing, and then the throat is about being able to express what you want, being able to express your needs, and being able to express it to other people so they hear it and they see it and they understand you. So it's like our chakras go up in this dance, like you have this choice making, and then it goes up, out as expression. So it's just something you can explore. Is you could do some meditations and see how that affects, like after you've done the meditation. Osho has good like chakra meditations. But you can also look some up online, and I particularly concentrate on the solar plexus, and maybe the throat as well.
It's so interesting because the solar plexus is involved in this procedure as well, in a way. Yeah, because it's about a hiatus hernia, the possibility of one, which is the stomach coming up through the diaphragm. So.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, there's most certainly something being released, because I do feel like as we release things, it is connected to our physiology. I can't speak that word now. So it is connected to our body. So when we change, our body changes as well. Like, so when I was with Roger, he was one of my teachers, like he first introduced me to this, and he taught me to massage my body to help release stories. So I would massage different parts of my bodies and different stories would come out. And I feel like the way I conceptualize it is that we've got the main chakras in our body, in our torso. So they go in a line down, and then from those chakras we have all our meridians going off it, which go into the rest of our body. So when you massage, say, around the knee on the top right hand, oh well, it depends how you look at it, but the top right hand side, it might be related to the stomach, and then the stomach is related to a particular chakra and particular emotion. So it's all connected. So your body begins to shift as the human evolves and expands. And illnesses can come up to clear it. Like I went through a stage, I think I've spoken about this, with a lot of neck ache. It was about 2 years I went through this neck ache problem, and I feel like it was connected to me speaking my truth and speaking out what I felt.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Yeah. And I wish you well with your procedure or not your procedure, whichever one. Just chosen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Nice. I think there is, on my website, I do have some links on the reference page to alternative doctors, I think.
Okay.
So you can also look through that. I'm not sure if I have put it on there. I sometimes forget to update it. So you can just have a brief look. There was one that I was recommended recently, and I think I haven't put him on there. So I'll try and update it in the next couple of days, and you can find it. Okay. Or you can write to me after the stream, and then I'll send you a link to him. But make sure you do it after the stream, because otherwise I won't see your message. It'll get lost in the chat. Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Sophie. Thank you for calling in and asking.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.